All right, let me get this all sorted out. Here we go. What up? What up, MJ? How am I not signed in? It says sign in the chat, but I am signed in. Whatever. Let's get this show on the road. What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome back. Oh, my goodness. We got to get our hat on. We got to get our signature Vikings hat on. Sorry about that. Welcome back, Vikings fans, to the Purple and Gold Bars Show. I am your host, Supreme Overlord, a.k.a. Mr. AI Man 3000, a.k.a. Mr. Purple and Gold Bars, at your service. Back at it with you. We got a good one for you today. We're gonna go start off the show with a segment talking about understanding the 2025 Minnesota Vikings, forged in fire, as well as going over our Week 14 recap, as well as reactions to each one of those games. I hope you guys had a great football weekend. I know I did. Let's hit that intro. What's going on, guys? Really quick reminder, guys, we have our December long t-shirt giveaway going on right now, so don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and leave a comment on any one of our videos that is uploaded from the month of December. And in the month of January, that first week, we're going to do a live draw, giving away anywhere between 10, maybe 20 shirts. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how much we can get away with from our t-shirt printer. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, guys, so your chance you can earn up to 10 ballots, so 10 comments making sure that you're subscribed will get you into that draw. So let's get right into it, guys, because we got to understand the 2025 Minnesota Vikings. I've been trying to get through to you guys, let you guys know what is up. I told you guys before the season started that this team is a very good team, but regardless of that, all we should be expecting are growing pains and some flashes here and there. And that's exactly what we've got. It's as if all the countless hours of research and knowledge that I draw upon actually mean something. So that's why we're going to go on. Hopefully, I can get through to you guys a little bit more, giving you guys a little bit of a different perspective on the 2025 Minnesota Vikings. So let's start with the man of the hour, Mr. JJ McCarthy. And let's go. What he actually is. He is, like I said in the previous live, I think he is what I call a resilient learner. He's not a savant. He's not a natural. He's not, that type of outlier, okay? He's a residual learner. The guy has an incredible work ethic, and as a result, he learns through adversity on top of the work that he puts in, right? So, like I said, he's not a natural prodigy, dropped here by the football angels. He's an advanced beginner, okay? The type of learner who improves through real reps, problem solving, and exposure, not shortcuts, okay? But here's what separates him, okay? Number one, his resilience and work ethic. His preparation and work ethic are legitimately comparable to guys like Tom Brady and most recently, Jaden Daniels. We all saw that fluff piece that they gave him where they kind of let us in on his work ethic. He's obsessed, just like them. He's committed, and he doesn't run from adversity. JJ leans into it, and that's exactly the type of foundation that you want to grow and develop, because that's the ceiling where you get guys that are elite, maybe even legendary, maybe even all time, okay? It's still a little bit too early. We're just mixing the cake batter metaphorically still. We haven't even put the cake in the oven yet. But if we do all the right things, he can definitely get there, and I believe that about this man. 2, his delusional confidence, and it's the good kind, okay? Every great athlete has a little bit of delusional disbelief or belief in themselves, okay? JJ has that gene. He's born with it. It's why he's willing to put the cape on and take responsibility and to take over the game and go win it, even when things aren't going well. We've seen that multiple times this year when he's, struggling. He still tries to go for that home run play because he believes in himself, and that's what we need. Number 3, the throwing profile nobody talks about, okay? People love to pretend JJ can't make certain throws. Funny because I've watched him make all the throws with my own eyes at IMG. Every single throw in the book. At Michigan, he didn't need to make them, so he reverted to what he does naturally. He's more of a fastball, bullet pass type of natural thrower. That's the way that he wants to lean into it. But let's not forget, we've already seen glimpses of what he can actually do. He's shown back shoulder throws to Jalen Nailor to beat the Detroit Lions. He's layered the ball over defenders on screens to Aaron Jones for crazy pickups. He's thrown drop in the bucket touch throws, deep ball connections, and on top of that, he has the confidence to keep firing even after he misses. He doesn't hide. Not like Jared Goff, not like Kirk Cousins, not like Phillip Rivers, okay? This kid has something special to build upon, and once he develops, he's going to be something unreal, let me tell you guys. Leadership at 22 years old. That's the 4th thing that I have written down here. You can't teach this part, okay? He's born with it. In his first NFL start, we all know the story, okay? It's been hyper publicized and tossed around to point at his leadership skills. He said in the huddle when it was the worst, hey, guys, where would you guys rather be? He changed that entire outlook of the game. That offense's energy immediately changed. That drive in the 4th quarter led to a historic comeback in his first NFL start. Leaders and superstars are born in moments like that, and he's already did that in his first game. Let's not forget all the great things he's done ever since, all the flashes that we've seen amongst all the struggle, okay? To the people that want to call him a bust, if you're calling JJ a bust off a small sample size, you're either A, an idiot who doesn't understand development, or 2, a jaded fan so broken that nothing resembling common sense can save you. Either way, you're cooked. And it looks good on you. Because for you to trash on a young man, that shows more about you and what you're dealing with in your everyday life, that you have to try to gain pleasure by bullying or taking it out on a young kid when you're too impatient to just let it play out. I'd understand after a year or two, but after 3 games, after 2 games, after 6 games, that makes you look like the fool. Now, let's move on to KOC and the reality behind the coaching. People need to get this, okay? KOC and his staff spent the entire offseason building a system to stay competitive and to develop JJ McCarthy simultaneously. The entire plan was blown up immediately when the offensive line was obliterated by injuries. Backup after backup was thrown into the fire. And guess what those players didn't get? Off-season reps, which means that builds pass protection continuity, zone blocking chemistry, and timing with JJ. That's why we saw a ton of false starts, So yes, the run game suffered. And yes, JJ's development hit turbulence. And yes, given the circumstances, KOC did a solid job, okay? Not great, not terrible, but despite the situation, he did a solid job. And that's the type of coach that he is. Why we shouldn't be saying stupid stuff like firing him. Now, I want to say KOC's approach to JJ was correct, okay? JJ is a resilient learner with a massive long-term potential and ceiling. Guys like that don't grow by being micromanaged or babied, okay? If you dumb down the offense for a guy like that, you cap his ceiling. I've said this on this channel multiple times. Playing to manage a quarterback turns high ceiling prospects into game managers. That's how you get Kirk Cousins. That's how you get Jared Goff. That's how you get Phillip Rivers. Okay? Capable guys, but limited because they weren't developed properly. No, Patrick Seatman, we're not firing KOC. Patrick, buddy, if anyone should be fired, it's you, okay? For exposing yourself as a spineless bandwagoner. Same goes to you, Andy, because shame on you guys, man. I'm embarrassed that you two represent Vikings content. Truly. It's unbelievable how brain dead you two are. Kwesi, let's turn our attention to Kwesi, the most misunderstood GM in the league. The draft criticism. Look, yeah, Kwesi hasn't hit on every draft pick. But explain to me how a GM is supposed to improve at drafting if he never gets a draft. You want him fired for not being perfect, and you want him to sell the future at the trade deadline. So what? So you could bash him when his picks didn't turn out? The limited picks that he would have had left over didn't turn out? Be serious, guys. Come on. The cognitive dissonance is unreal with you guys. Number 2, let's talk about Dallas Turner, okay? The receipts. I remember all last year and most of the beginning of this year, people talking about how Dallas Turner was a bust or we missed on Dallas. He's nobody. He's garbage. I don't hear any of you guys saying any of that now. Remember, I told everyone that Dallas Turner wasn't playing much early because he needed to learn Brian Flores' system. It's not an easy system to learn. Okay, you can't just plug and play guys into him like you can with the Bears defense, with the Broncos defense, any standard basic hustle first young defense, basic defense. That's not our defense, okay? You need to learn so you can be trusted in everything that you need to do when you need to rotate based on the signals and everything. At the end of the season, he got some real reps. Now, he's emerging as a monster. It's funny how all those idiots have egg on their face now. Now, Kwesi thinks differently, okay? That's why he was hired. Did you guys forget? He wasn't hired to think like a traditional GM. He was hired because he doesn't. He thinks differently, and you complain that he's not doing things the traditional way. The cognitive dissonance with this crowd of fans or haters is unbelievable, okay? Now, let's talk about the vision. What fans don't understand. Kwesi, KOC, Brian Flores are building something long-term here. A vision that we are not privy to. And frankly, we shouldn't be. Because that kind of lets everybody in on what we're doing and kind of gives them a head start at trying to figure out how to stop us. You don't see all the internal development goals, the system. Hold on a sec. There we go. You don't see all the internal development goals, the system install timelines, the roster transitions. Just because you can't see it, or you don't believe in it, or you can't wrap your head around it, does not mean this team is clueless, lost, poorly coached, or needs to be torn down and rebuilt from the studs. It simply reveals more about you than the team. So how about you learn some patience, you reset your unrealistic, delusional standards or expectations that you set for yourself, because that's the real reason why you guys are so jaded and butthurt this season. Like, the cognitive dissonance is unreal with this crowd. We have a rookie quarterback, essentially, that outside of the outliers, which isn't the norm, they all struggle, okay? And some show flashes, some flame out. And then on the other hand, you have a loaded roster with great coaching, and you think we're going to make a playoff run. Unbelievable. It's mind-boggling how ridiculous some people can be, all because you set delusional expectations and standards for this team that weren't warranted to begin with. I told you guys before the season started, This season is a roller coaster, okay? It's going to be a lot of growing pains, some flashes here and there. And that's exactly what we've gotten. We've gotten a historic flash in game 1. First ever rookie or first starting quarterback to come back from 11 points or more in the fourth quarter in a victory. And then when he beat the Lions, the third all-time behind Dan Marino and Patrick Mahomes, if I'm not mistaken, to ever win on the road in the division in their first few starts. History was made, and you guys want to cry about how it didn't go well and you wanted to go for the Super Bowl this year? Unbelievable. And then you come up to this week where after all the growing pains and after I've been telling you guys, hey, settle down. This is what growth and development looks like. Let them figure it out. Shut the hell up. Mind your P's and Q's and just wait. Because you'll look like idiots when it starts to work. Because I'm not going to forget every single one of you guys in the comments and every single one of you guys in the chat that was saying, oh, JJ McCarthy's a scrub. Oh, KOC needs to be fired. Kwesi's a bum. B-Flow's defense is not good. Guess what? You guys were all wrong. And the rest of the season's going to prove it. And even more so next year when we start actually making more progress the way that we're supposed to be. So keep that in mind. You know, because you can miss me with all that garbage because I think differently than everybody else. And my experience and the research that I do gives me the objective perspective to give you the takes that I give you. That's why I was right last year about Sam Darnold. That's why I was right last year in the prediction of the season. And I was right about how the season was going to end. Nobody wanted to listen. And I was right this year so far. All right. Enough of that, guys. Let's get into, let's see here. Let's remove the slide. We need to talk about, hold on a sec, guys. We need to move on and let's get the show moving on because we got a week 14 weekly recap and reaction to get through here. All right, guys. Starting off with Thursday night. Oh, man, this week kept on giving, especially for just NFL fans and those that kind of see through the BS. All those Dallas Cowboys fans talking about how they're going to make the Super Bowl, how they're going to make the playoffs, and they were going to beat those Lions on Thursday night. Go watch my short if you want the condensed version of what I said about this game going in. I basically predicted how this game was going to go. And look how we got. We have a 44-30 outcome. Sonic and Knuckles, massive difference. Like I said, Jameson Williams, big impact. Jahmyr Gibbs, 3 touchdowns. Boy, that game was awesome because I got to wake up the next morning and watch Stephen A. put on his Cowboys-hating persona and let us know, don't worry, relax. These Cowboys are going to prove you right. Because they always find a way to win or always find a way to lose. Let's go, Cowboys Nation. Awesome, awesome, awesome way to start football. It's great to see. Because, guys, let's be real here. Cowboys Nation's talking about, oh, yeah, we got the defense now. We got Quinnen Williams. We got Ben Logan. We're here. We're freaking coming for this. Guys, you went from a 32nd or maybe a 30th overall defense and you thought 2 guys were going to make you guys top 10? Come on, guys. I told you guys. Woo! I said, whoop-de-doo, Basil. You guys went to the 20th best defense in the league. Ooh, so scary. Couldn't stop the Lions defense. How did that run game, how did you guys do with Quinnen Williams and stopping Jahmyr Gibbs and freaking David Montgomery? Ooh, hurts, doesn't it? Hurts, doesn't it? Oh, that 9% chance to make the playoffs. Ooh, it was so good. It was so beautiful. Pure cinema, like I said it was going to be. I love being right, guys. And here we go. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks versus the Falcons. Now, guys, like I said in my preview and my breakdown and my prediction to this game, I said, yo, This game is the type of game where Sam Darnold's going to go off. These guys are going to put belt to ass, and they're going to put it on the Falcons. Now, I did say, now the Falcons might have the ability to turn this into the game because they have a sneaky good defense. But I didn't think that was going to be the case. And what happens when Sam Darnold has zero pressure on him in a game that's basically meaningless? He shows up, and he shows up big. But like the week before, when he has that self-imposed freaking pressure, he collapses with one of his worst stat lines of the season. And guess what? Meaningful games are coming. Playoff games are coming. And what's going to happen? I'm going to get to gloat when they get eliminated in humiliating fashion to remind all those idiots that kept saying, oh, we should have paid Sam Darnold. Oh, the Minnesota Vikings definitely should have made the big mistake and they shouldn't have gone with JJ. How do you look now, First Take? How do you look now, Dan Orlovsky? How do you look now, freaking Unc? You guys, it goes, oh, look, he's looking so good. Yeah, he looks good in the regular season. We know that. That's nothing to be freaking impressed about. But here we go. Another meaningless, no-pressure game, and he does incredible. And, big ups to the Seahawks. They got a pretty decent team. JSN is an incredible athlete. I really like him. Let's be real. But they're still like 2 or 3 years away from being able to do anything in meaningful games because Sam Darnold's reclamation project isn't done yet, guys, like I've been saying all season. And that's why we moved on from him. And that's why we made the right decision to move on from Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold. Ooh, imagine if we had Daniel Jones right now. We'd be sitting with Kirk Cousins 2.0 with a quarterback going down to with an Achilles injury. How embarrassing, how the mighty have fallen. Talk about the mighty falling, the big old Steelers versus Ravens. Now, I did give this game a coin flip, okay? So I was like, basically the same team. They're both flawed in different ways. But who's going to be able to show up? And I said, you know what? I'm going to give the slight edge to the Ravens. And I'm going to gamble on Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson being the difference maker, them taking over early. And then when they play with the lead, it's very hard to beat them. But what happened? Oh, my goodness. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers had a different plan. And they go ahead and take down the Ravens. Ooh, Lucas, how does it feel, buddy? Oh, my good. You always like to be talking trash in the chat, and look at you now, buddy. You guys are so far, and oh, man. Tell me, how good has Lamar Jackson done in the playoffs, man? How close are your Ravens to a rebuild or a Super Bowl? Looks good on you, buddy. All right, let's move on to the Titans. Ooh, this was actually a good game. Hey, look at that. No trolling needed in this game because this was actually a really good game. I liked what I saw from both teams here. It was a really fun matchup. There was a little bit of everything, some bad, some good, some funny, a little bit of everything. But I'm extremely happy to see how Cam Ward performed, as well as Shedeur Sanders. And I'm hoping that the rumors are true that Shedeur Sanders requests a trade at the end of the season, because I've been saying since before he got the starting job that I don't think that he's going to get a fair shot with the Browns. I think he's done more than enough now to earn a starting position somewhere else in the league. And if somebody with a team that is actually going to believe in him, give him a full season starting, maybe even 2 seasons starting, so then we can see what he is, okay? He might be a bust. He might be average. He might be a backup. He might be above average. He might become elite or even legendary. But unless he gets a team that's willing to give him that chance and isn't trying to sabotage him and hold him back the entire way, the way Kevin Stefanski has done it, we're not gonna see what he truly can become. And all these young quarterbacks, that's all I want, is for them to get a fair shot, for them to have the breathing room to give it their all and prove us one way or another. Because that's the only way we're going to get to seeing how these new generation quarterbacks turn this league upside down. And I'm excited to see these two guys in the future, man. I'm excited to see who the Titans coach will be next year, and the system, and the culture that gets built there. I'm excited to see where Shedeur Sanders falls this year or next year, and I want to see him succeed. I want to see him have that shot. It'll be good for the league, and it'll be good football. So, absolutely incredible. Oh man, here we go. Can we have a moment of silence, guy? Here. Wow, wow, wow. The Colts season is officially done, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Jones, absolutely horrendous. It sucks to see. I have never been a guy to root for injuries or anything like that. So I hate seeing injuries. I hate seeing Daniel Jones go out like that because I know what was going to happen. If he didn't get injured, he was just going to melt down in the playoffs, and people are going to realize that they were idiots for believing in this Indiana Jones hype, okay? And it's the reason why I didn't put them up at the top of my draft board for so long, and now they're almost guaranteed over the next couple of weeks they're going to fall completely out of the top 12 in my power rankings. But how the mighty have fallen. How embarrassing it is to take a massive swing like that. Go trade for Sauce Gardner. Get rid of basically trade away all your future, and now you're stuck because you don't have the draft unless you do some crazy finagling and some crazy trading here and restructuring of contracts. Can you even trade for Kyler? Maybe even Tua? Will the Dolphins even trade Tua after they've seen him do some nice things over the last couple weeks? I don't know. Who are they going to bring in? They're probably stuck with Daniel Jones. That means they're going to have to go out and bring in one of these reclamation projects. Maybe a Mac Jones. Maybe who's out there that's a reclamation? Maybe a what's his name? Marcus Mariota. You know, he did pretty decent in relief of Jaden Daniels this year. Maybe they move on from him and they bring in somebody else to back up Jaden, and he can go there or something like that. But that's all they're going to have. They're going to get bottom of the barrel kind of scraps for while they have a quarterback carousel until Daniel Jones returns from injury, because they're hitched to Daniel Jones. He's the guy that they're going to have to pay. Now, mind you, they're not going to have to pay him as much as they were going to have to at the end of the season after what he has done so far, right? But, man, let's talk about these Jaguars here. What an incredible game from these Jaguars. Talk about belt to ass. They did not care. They would not let up. I've been saying, guys, this Jaguars team is pretty nice. You know, they're just struggling with muscle memory and existing just knowledge that there's kind of like stuck with from all the previous coaching regimes and like verbiage and everything, that sometimes when the pressure comes and you just revert to what you remember, and sometimes you go, oh crap, I'm supposed to do this, but this was last year's game plan, right? They got Liam Cohen bringing in and implementing a new system, and the deeper they go into the season, they're starting to get less and less of these like derpy kind of like mistakes that come from that. They're starting to become more of the Liam Cohen system, that Mike Shanahan coaching tree. And it looks good, man. When I watch the Jaguars, it reminds me of my team. It reminds me of the Rams. It reminds me of the 49ers. It reminds me of the old school Commanders before or during the Kirk Cousins era. Hey, I see some promise here, and I'm excited to see what this Jaguars team does because, guys, they're looking pretty good. They can really do something here if they can continue on this trajectory, and if they can overcome next year when everybody's got tape out on what they're wanting to do, and they can handle having a little bit of a target on their back, and they don't completely collapse. They might be something to be worried about here in a year or two. Ooh, I don't know how far they're going to go this year in the playoffs, but it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Moving on to the Minnesota Vikings versus the Washington Commanders. Man, I said that in my preview to this game. Well, I didn't even think they were going to play Jaden Daniels because I thought it was a ridiculous notion. A lot of the pundits and people within like commentary creator and content creators, everything like that, we're talking more like it's time for a rebuild. It's time to a tank situation. Let's get the highest draft pick possible so we can bring in some nice complementary guys to kind of keep building around Jaden Daniels. They've already lost Marshawn Lattimore. They've lost some linebackers, completely decimated on their pass rush, right? Even then, they've been playing pretty hard, even though they haven't come away with a ton of wins. And I just expected them not to really put Jaden in harm's way. But you can't teach wisdom. And it's like, is anybody in the building outside of the owner and maybe upper management remember Robert Griffin III? Guys, what were you thinking? Like, the gangster comes away with a nice little intuitive interception on the screen pass on Jaden Daniels and ends up getting freaking bodied trying to go in there to make the stop on him and having to get pulled from the game. And after that, it was just over. It was just over. What an incredible performance from our Minnesota Vikings. I told you guys, this is what growth and development looks like. Let them figure it out. They made some adjustments this week. Maybe they had finally completed whatever phase they were trying to complete before they moved on to their next stage of development. It worked. They look really good. A passer rating from JJ McCarthy from, if I remember, 127, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 168 yards, and a passer or completion rating of 69%. Yeah, it looks like a bust to me. So, what did we learn here in this game, guys? What did we learn? I've been saying this all season. Guys, drawing conclusions from a small sample size only gives you randomness masquerading as meaning, and it makes a fool out of you. Those of you who were thinking, oh, I've seen 2 games, I've seen enough. Oh my gosh, he's a bust, he's garbage. Those people were the same people like Colin Cowherd that were calling Mike White a franchise quarterback after 2 games just because he threw for 300 yards and multiple touchdowns in his first 2 starts. Oh, man, I love gloating. But there you go, guys. Minnesota Vikings, forged in fire, 2025. That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to the Dolphins versus the Jets. A little bit more, this one, if I remember correctly, I kind of basically predicted this one as well. From what I had remembered, I remember seeing that morning that I made that live, that on the actual Jets fan page or blog page or whatever, they had an article that says to tank or not to tank. And immediately that made me think, oh, these guys aren't going to come out here with that kind of ambition to kind of win, because they want these draft picks that they've accumulated after the trade deadline, so they can draft a bunch of guys so they can rebuild their trenches, their defensive and offensive trenches, as well as that defense, because we all know you need to build that first in order to really give a good, solid opportunity to whichever quarterback they end up drafting in the next couple of years here. So, man, these Jets, you might not see it, but I do. I see the jigsaw puzzle. There's only, I'm not gonna lie, there's only like 2 or 3 pieces that are in there, and outside of having that vision, that ability to see into the future, like I do, you're not gonna see it. You're gonna look at, wow, a trash team. But there's been a couple drives here and there. There's been a couple games where you see things aren't the typical New York Jets. They're not calling plays the same way. They're not running the same old offense. There is something different going on there. It's just nowhere near polished. It's not even anywhere near beta testing. Let's be real. They're just trying to make it work. But every once in a while, I see that little glimpse of what they're trying to do. And I absolutely think that Aaron Glenn was the right choice here for the Jets. And the Dolphins, hey, everybody thought these guys were going to be sellers at the trade deadline, and they have not let up. They continue to keep grinding. They continue to look for growth and development, and they don't want to give up the rest of the season and not get some meaningful football or experience missed on their behalf. And it looks good, man. 34-10. Things were banging on all cylinders here. Big ups to the Miami Dolphins and then their win this week. Ooh, the upset of the week. I did not see this one coming, guys. I did not see this one coming. I definitely thought that Baker Mayfield, their running defense, their running offense, now that it's become healthier, as well as this stingy Buccaneers defense, was going to be way too much for Tyler Shuck and these Saints. But man, I love watching these young kids come out with wins like this because it gives me hope that these next generation quarterbacks that are coming out of the league or coming into the league now, they're going to give us some fantastic football in the years to come. I'm excited to see what the Saints team develops over the next couple of years. I anticipate in like 2, maybe 3 years, we might start actually looking at them as a team that might be able to squeeze into the wild card. And then even after that, maybe they could even do something special in the playoffs. So big ups to New Orleans coming up with the upset win there. I don't think it really matters too much on draft position here, but I think that gives you guys some confidence and some hope in your young quarterback, and it looks good. Baker Mayfield, the Bucks, you let me down. I really like the Bucks, but you know what? They're starting to show some cracks here and there. Maybe there's just too much work that needs to be done. There are wide receivers are just decimated here, and Emeka and Buka might just not be enough. They might need Mike. Oh my goodness. Their number one wide receiver that's out for the season. How am I blanking on him right now? Everybody used to before he became something, everybody used to be like, oh, he can't catch a ball, and he drops everything. And now look at him. He's freaking unreal. First season where he's not going to get 1,000 yards in, I think, 5 or 6 seasons or something like that. Unreal. Maybe it's just the injuries may be too much for them, but hey, you never know. They might be able to pull something together here, finish out the season strong, and maybe steal their division away. I don't know. A lot of things have to go right their way, but it sucks to see because I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan, so sucks to see there. Cincinnati Bengals versus the Buffalo Bills. I absolutely called this game. Go back and watch my preview to this game, my short that I uploaded, the condensed version of what I said about this team. I said this game is going to be very, very interesting here. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's got the potential for being a high-scoring game. We got Joe Burrow going up against Josh Allen, and I said that it could very well be the situation where the Bills just kind of run away with it because that Bengals defense is definitely suspect at times, and the Bills defense can be suspect at times too, but I said, you know what, maybe the Bengals defense might be able to, although they're not going to be consistent, maybe steal a couple drives and make this game a lot closer. And if Joe Burrow can put the cape on like he can, and we know he can, he might be able to get a little bit of a shocker here. And he almost did, but Josh Allen and them boys, when they're at home, they elevate, they play a little bit harder. The weather was crazy, the snow, everything totally made a factor here, but what an exciting game. I was so happy to watch that game. I was like, woo! It was hard to keep an eye on watching my game as well as this game because I was so just through the moon watching JJ embarrass the Commanders and watching this defense show out like a top 5, maybe even like I predicted. One of my bold predictions was the top 2 defenses in the league being the Broncos and the Vikings. Can the Vikings still make that second spot? I think the Broncos are definitely running away with it. Maybe not, but top 5, I'll be still pretty happy here. Definitely top 10. But let's go Bills, coming up with another big win. You guys needed it to stay in the run here. Big ups to you guys, Josh Allen and the boys. Sunday afternoon window, Broncos Raiders. Hey, another one that I predicted. I said this is probably going to be a race to 24, race to 21, and what happened here? Raiders came across and did a lot better this time. They put up a fight. I've been saying all season, just like I said last year about the freaking Giants, I said I really like the talent and the potential on this team. They're just directionless. They need a better coach. They need a better culture, right? And you know, Jackson Dart, Cam Scotabo definitely brought that to the Giants. And now we got the Raiders that are in the exact same position this year. I think they are Very, very talented. Brock Bowers might be one of my new favorite football players here. This kid, what I've seen him do this year, unbelievable, guys. He is unreal. I love Michael Myers just because I'm a huge horror fan. So as you guys can see here behind me here, Michael Myers being right there. I was excited to see this game. Man, it was close when it was, and like I said, I just couldn't bet against this defense, and the Broncos come away with it. We've seen some really nice passes out of Bo Nix. We saw a little bit of struggle here and there, but man, what a fantastic game. We got a little bit of everything. Raiders, pump those brakes, you Raiders fans. There is still a lot to go next year. Hopefully you guys can hit on some offensive line talent here. You guys will have your left tackle back from injury. Maybe you guys can get that revamped defensive and offensive line, and maybe next year you guys might be a slightly above average team. Might even be going for a wild card. You never know. I think you guys definitely have the talent on the roster in order to get that done. You guys are just missing a couple pieces here, missing some pieces from injury as well, not like from the draft and whatnot, or maybe even free agency. You guys make some good moves in the offseason here, and you guys prepare right. Man, Raiders might be something here in a few years as well. Bears Packers. Ooh, the gift that kept on giving. This game was awesome. I loved watching this game, and man, did I predicted this game to a T. Go back and watch that short that I put out for Bears Packers. I said, guys, this is basically the Bears playing the same game 2 weeks in a row. The only difference is where you guys are facing a team with really, really good defense. You're not facing a team this week that actually has a competent offense that isn't struggling like the Eagles did. And you're not going to be able to win an ugly game like you did last week. You're going to need Caleb Williams to throw for more than 200 yards. He can't be throwing any interceptions or giving up any turnovers. And he can't be taking a ton of sacks. What did he do? Oh my God. It's as if I said, guys, Caleb Williams, when he plays good teams, when he plays good defenses, he puts up stat lines like you saw yesterday. Mediocre. What was it? Let's look at it, because I can't remember. I think it was like 69 was the 76.6 passer rating, 54% completion rating. Absolutely horrendous. Couldn't happen to a better team, especially as their fans have been getting a little bit too ahead of themselves. I said, guys, you guys are on a last place schedule. Of course you guys are going to be doing good this season, especially when you guys haven't really played any meaningful football and any really good teams yet. Wait until you start playing some good teams. You play the Packers, you get embarrassed. Unbelievable. Great job to the Packers. I still forget their third string receiver that they actually lost, but Christian Watson, their running back used to be on the Raiders. Josh Jacobs, incredible job, Josh Jacobs. Wow. I love the way you run the ball, guy. Oh, my goodness. I have to give props where props are due. I know you're an NFC North Division rival, but hey, I'm a fan of football first. That's what I came into the league as. I wasn't a Vikings fan. I came in because Adrian Peterson, somebody showed me a highlight reel of Adrian Peterson, and I was like, whoa, that's the type of athleticism you got in the NFL? I'm going to have to start paying attention to this sport. And then I fell in love with Adrian Peterson, Megatron, Julio Jones, Peyton Manning, all the freaking superstars before I actually fell in love with the Vikings. And that's why I got to give big ups to the Packers and what they were able to do. Man, that touchdown throw off the back foot, I thought that was interception when Jordan Love threw it. And then he actually caught it. It was like this far ahead of the freaking defender, the DB. Ooh, he got lucky there, but it was nice to see because it grounded these Bears in a little bit closer to reality and reminding them that, oh yeah, we still got a little ways to go. And this is why I said that you guys are the little brother of the division. Every single one of us are ahead of you. Just because we're going through our adversity and stuff doesn't mean that we're still not ahead of you on the path to developing to who we are. Okay, you guys are just in year one. A lot of us are way more ahead than you are. And to expect to go into the Packers house and blow them out with a performance like that from Caleb Williams, How embarrassing. Let's go, Packers. That was a great win. I love watching that because it was awesome to see the Bears fall from number 1 all the way to number 7 in the divisional standings here. Moving on to the Rams versus Cardinals. Another game that I kind of basically predicted as well. I didn't expect a massive blowout like this. I thought there was going to be a big game here from the Rams. I thought there was going to be an easy game. Matthew Stafford's going to be a little bit too much for this Cardinals secondary. But I have been giving props to the freaking Cardinals because I like their defense. Calais Campbell is in year 13, 14, 15, whatever it is. And the guy's playing like he's in year 7. Unbelievable. Unbelievable job, Calais Campbell. This defense is stingy. They're probably the best factor or aspect of their team, and they play harder for their backup, Jacoby Brissett. So it's obvious that the Kyler Murray experiment is over. I'm expecting a trade as soon as I think they have to wait until after June 1st or May 1st. What's the deadline? I forgot, because I did a video about this before. I forget, but because if they trade him before the cutoff, then the cap hit is like astronomical, and then if they trade him after, it's not going to be so bad. It's going to be manageable. So I wholeheartedly expect the Cardinals moving on from Kyler Murray in the offseason. But another great game, another fantastic game from the Rams. Matthew Stafford continues to, put great tape on out there for his MVP season. I think he's starting to run away with it, guys. All right, moving on to the Texans versus the Chiefs. Ooh, I did get this one wrong. I thought that the Chiefs would definitely come away with those late game heroics, those situational football moments where they're just gonna do what they always do and come up with those plays because they know what to do. The experience, the wiliness of their team was going to get the better of these Texans. But man, I've been expecting that from them for the last 3 or 4 weeks now, and it has not come. I think we can honestly say that the Chiefs dynasty is officially over. Now, in the offseason, they can definitely do some retooling, bringing in some young guys and make it so that they kind of can become competitive again. But like I said, going into this, I said one of my bold takes was I don't think the Chiefs are going to be the unstoppable force. I think they're going to be looking more beatable this season. But if they do make the playoffs, I think they are wily enough to kind of make a nice little Cinderella run. But I just don't think they have it in them. Did you guys see that interception at the very end of the game? Travis Kelce, a guy that's so sure-handed, goes to catch the ball and turns before he secures it. What is going on here? I couldn't believe my eyes. These are like year 1 mistakes. He usually controls the ball before he tries to turn upfield. And he's just, I don't know, the distractions off the field, his superstar girlfriend, his lavish lifestyle, his podcast may have just caused too much damage. And, he is floating retirement here. And you know what? If he goes and he doesn't regain some of that old form and comes back next year, this Chiefs team might be due for a rebuild. Obviously not moving on from Patrick Mahomes, even though he had a career-worst game. I think he's still got a lot of football to go, and it'd be ridiculous to trade him or move on from him just because, the dynasty's over and they just want to, just commit to a full rebuild and draft a young guy again. I think that'd be a big mistake. I think what they should do is have the approach what the Steelers did. We don't rebuild. We reload. Okay, you guys are a few free agent moves away and some nice draft picks away from becoming competitive. Maybe not the unstoppable force that you guys once were, but something that it can definitely make some playoff appearances and make if everything goes right, might actually make it back to the Super Bowl and steal one here and there with some of that experience that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes have. But let's talk about these Texans, guys. Ooh, it looks like the sophomore slump is over, okay? I know C.J. Stroud had his ugly moments last night. It was kind of ugly to start the second. Oh, no, wait. That was Patrick Mahomes. Duh. Oh, no, wait. He also struggled a little bit here in the second half to start before he started making some passes here. But regardless, okay? Overall, when you look at it in the totality of this season, I think that we can honestly start to say that CJ Stroud's slump, his sophomore, whatever you want to call it, I think he's starting to emerge out of it. There's still a lot of inconsistencies. Sometimes he looks off the safety, sometimes he doesn't, but I think he's starting to come out of it, and I think now we're going to start to see some growth and development, and hopefully he can become the guy that a lot of people thought he was going to become after year one. So big up to the Texans, man. That defense is looking absolutely scary, and if anybody that has to face those guys going into the postseason might be in for a shocker, but they might be able to steal a couple wins here if the offense can get enough. If Nico Collins and the boys can do a good in the offensive side, that defense can definitely keep them in games, and they might be able to steal a playoff win here or two. Maybe even make a little bit of a Cinderella run. I don't know. Maybe you heard it here first. And there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the Week 14 recap, guys. I love every single one of you guys. Quick reminder here. Don't forget that the entire month of December, we got a t-shirt giveaway going. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment on any live, short, or upload that I make, and you will earn a ballot for the live draw that we're going to have in the first week of January. We're going to go ahead and write everybody's name down. We're going to do it old school because I'm old school, okay? We're going to have one of those bingo rollerball things, or maybe just do a hat. And we're going to put everybody's name in a hat, and we're going to pick out a bunch of lucky winners. We have I've already shown the t-shirt. I'll take a picture of it and actually make a post to remind you guys. I'll make a couple posts this season, but we're going to have also a mystery design that's going to be revealed during the live stream, because we're going to have 2 t-shirts designed. They're going to be one of a kind. We're not going to make them after that. This isn't a transition into making merch or anything like that. It's just my way of giving back to those that have been here at the very beginning. And I don't even expect merch to be a thing for another year or two anyways. So, but I just wanted to give back. It is the month of December. It's my way of giving you guys a Christmas gift for those that are regulars that like to comment and leave that are subscribed and leave comments. And I love every single one of you guys. Don't forget, it's just football. Don't take the joshing and the trolling personal. But guys, that's what I told you guys was going to happen, okay? So if you guys missed it, rewind it to the beginning of the video where I talked about understanding the Minnesota Vikings. And you guys might be able to get a little bit of that perspective that I have, so you guys can feel a little bit better. But guys, have a good one, guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys on the next one.